Hentub, Rahubad, Hatub, Khera, Ankum, Hatub, Khera, Ankem. Peace to you. The year is Sanu, Tamadin, Lukad, Amun, Uzbutalah, and Tashu Nunamnir. And I think the Tamahu day, the Gregorian day, is November 18th, 2021. Yo, this is Brother Modhuta. It's early in the morning out here in New Mexico. I'll be going back to Arizona, back to New Abida today with my beautiful wife. And we just had some dogs. So we got about, I think, 7. Yeah, I think Hadunabi just had 7. Hadunabi is a protector in New Wapik. So yeah, I just wanted to come to you live. Well, not live, I can't upload live videos yet to Right Knowledge Radio, but this is Right Knowledge Radio with your host, Brother Modhuta. Peace to His Excellency, Dr. Malachi Z. York Al. I'm chilling here, in New Mexico. Just woke up recently, said Ninti's affirmation, and had some soup this morning, some warm soup, because it's cold out here today. I was driving through Colorado Springs, Denver, and it got to 35 at night, and out here it got to 25 at night. I just turned the truck on, put the heater on, man. That's pretty much all I could do, right? So, we tropical people on this. We survive in cold weather too, because we was in Europe setting up their civilizations, you know what I'm saying? But this morning is a Hatu, peace, and Khaluk is caring. Khanluk is caring. So we want to learn how to care for each other as, Nuwabians, as community people. And I want to say this. Let me turn the camera up just a little bit, so you can see my big head. Black people have a problem where they haven't woken up yet. But it was designed that they do not wake up. That's the whole part of being black. Black is something that's negative. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali already told us. Even though I'm a Nuwabian, Dr. York is my primary source of information. But it doesn't just mean I believe Dr. York. He said, "Don't believe me, check it out." And that's what I do. I don't agree with 100% of what Dr. York says. I agreed with 95% of what he says, if I could put a number on it. And after reading the actual facts, it's actually dropping, because he's saying that the Sumerians were Caucasians, the original Sumerians, which there's no scientific basis for that statement. He also said the original Chaldeans, or Chaldean. He said Chaldeans. I'm assuming he's meaning the original Chaldeans, which were Moors, dark-skinned, woolly-haired, nine-ether beings. So those things I don't agree with. But that's me, though. I know a lot of the older Negroes, or niggers, or whatever you want to call yourself, Negroids, or something that the white man made up for you, or the Caucasoid made up for you. You use this as your identity, which it was designed for you to lose. This whole world that you see was designed by them. Every law, every sidewalk. Now, they do make some good stuff like cars and trucks. So everything that the Caucasoid does is not bad. And you could actually take advantage of these inventions and make money for yourself and put it back into your own community, or form your own community. You could start there. Unfortunately, these so-called elders that were once part of Tamaray, who are on Eatonton and out there in Eatonton, simply just followed Dr. York. They simply followed him. They didn't they didn't really take heed to the lessons he was dropping on them, the 9 ether signs he was dropping on them. And now they're supposed to have some answers, just in case, because Dr. York said he had 30 years to teach. So he knew, he prophesied this is going to happen to him. And you got people worshiping Dr. York, like Amun Numa is a perfect example. He said when Dr. York dies, it's over. Like the whole universe is going to collapse and it's over. And I'm like, as long as you're still breathing, brother, it is not over. So this is this worship mentality of Dr. York, and that's partly the reason why he's in prison, because the United States was scared of him. People were worshiping Dr. York like he created, like Jesus. Like Christians worship Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Jesus, they think he created the whole universe, Christians. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. No man in the flesh could create the universe. That doesn't even make sense. You're part of the universe. He tried, the books of Thomas. I don't know about Barnabas, but there's other books, that he taught that, no, you're one with the universe. When you see me, you see the Father. Meaning I'm part of what the Father did. I come from the Father. The things that make up the material universe and the immaterial universe, which I'm talking about the spiritual world and the different levels of vibration, the different spark. They're calling it the Big Bang. In Arabic, it's the Nukta, right? And that's not the first spark, even in this universe. There's many sparks in many universes. There's a multiverse, you know what I mean? There could be universes revolving around each other. It's like planets, you know what I mean? And so Dr. York was trying to produce other master teachers, like the Triad, produce other leaders, because he's not going to live forever. You know what I'm saying? And so a learned man over a mere worshiper is like the sun over the moon. And so I know this dude was not in the Imam. He wasn't in the Imam, Amun Numa. He doesn't really know. I don't think he really knows that much. I don't think he really knows. I think that's why he rants and raves and he still has no control over self, because he never did the meditations, the chants, I don't think he's doing them. I don't think he's doing them. That's why he's still out of control, kind of like a little child. I just look at him like a little kid, even though he's older than me. He's 50. But see, I want to reveal what book this is in the Imam. But he talks about the 3 stages, birth, maturity, and then wisdom or old age. You don't get old age by just being old. You had to have been a good student of the teachings. So I could already tell as a high priest of the Imam, he was not a good student. It looks like he kind of just went off on tangents and, even said he pulled a gun on a brother. I'm like, nah, you lost. Once you pulling the gun on you, and another thing is this too. We need to stop saying all black people are our people. They're not. All black people are not your people. We're tribal people. So there's different variations of Moors. If you look in South America, most parts in South America look different from Moors in North America, because who we mix with. They mix with the Spanish, we mix with the English, or we didn't mix at all. We just fought and we don't even talk about how we fought and died honorably against these Tamahus that came over here from Europa, which is the name of a Nubian queen, by the way. So we don't even talk about how we fought and died honorably. That's why most of you dudes is cowards. You know what I'm saying? Most of you guys are cowards. You're old men and you're just cowards because you don't have a warrior spirit. You don't have a hero spirit. I'm gonna master the teachings, and then I'm gonna say that I'm close to Dr. York like a little bitch, right? Oh, I'm Dr. York's sister. I'm Wakia, so I get the right letters, and I got all the power now. That's because you dumb niggas gave her the power. Oh, she gets letters from. Oh, another update. Oh. Y'all fell for that. It's cool to get the updates, but when you know something ain't right in your heart and you don't say nothing, You can get the hell away from me. You part of the problem. Old slave mentality. It's now you just want to enslave yourself to Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle. You know what I'm saying? You just want to enslave yourself to him. But it's okay to speak words of wisdom to power. You know, it's okay. I don't know if Dr. York would have ostracized you for doing that when he said question everything, and then you question him. It's not that it depends on how you if you're questioning something to try to bring it down. Now that's a different line of questioning. You know, you got loaded questions for the Afarity, for the original Afarity, United Nawabi Nation of Moors. That's wrong. But if you have a genuine question, like you don't know something, you're trying to figure something out, nothing wrong with that. You know, because Dr. York came out with an audio called "I Taught You, and Now You Want to Question Me." I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Master Teacher. I don't think anything's wrong with if there's a genuine question about you and what you're teaching. I don't think there's a problem with that, because Nawabu, you know, Nawabu can handle anything. You know what I mean? And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Everybody can be questioned, and if you're someone of stature or someone of significance, you will be questioned. That's the whole thing. You will be questioned. There's no doubt about it that you will be questioned. So don't be surprised if you got your name out there and people question you, that you know you're getting hit with these questions. It's all part of becoming public. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be ready for the masses that you're attracting to. They're gonna question you. Or you just got a bunch of fanboys. You know, a lot of well, I don't even want to mention other people outside the circle, but you know, the world's going on out there, and it's a crazy place. We just try to stay healthy by juicing, and you know, if the truck stops here, I'll go running. I'm the only dude that runs around these truck stops. Only Nawabian man really running around these truck stops. You know, truckers are getting. There's some truckers that are like foreign. There's a lot of Africans trucking out here. I got a boy, Hussein, from Tanzania, and he trucks. I'm pretty cool with him. Peace, brother. If you ever see this, he knows about the United Nawabi Nation of Moors. You know, when I speak words, like, oh yeah, well, what does that mean? What language is that? You know, the Rapsuk. You know, Lama Kaudemu. What is it? Yasama. I said, when I speak, he listens, or he listened. So, and we want to get back into being men, you know, producing families with the mother, and taking care of our babies, because that shows that you're a man. That shows you're a man. Buying some land, taking care of the land, because you know, Anu blesses the farmers because they're able to grow and produce. I mean, selling books is cool, but that going on the street corner and selling books should really be, in this day and time, should only be done like at events or the flea market. You're just walking up and down the street selling books. That's, to me, that's not the way right now. That's not the way right now. There's different ways to propagate, learn how to utilize technology for your business. Which I do want to teach a computer class in Nawabi University, because I was formerly a computer engineer, administrator. I did NetApp data storage, Cisco, Juniper firewalls, Dell servers, PowerEdge servers, switches, layer 2 switches, layer 3 switches, and like I said, Cisco, man, I can't even remember, ASA firewalls, right? I did all that for like 15 years. And I just got sick of the computer industry, sitting in front of a computer all day, going to meetings all day, heavy on the corporate politics. That's where I learned all my politics. Even though I never tricked anybody, I had to play politics to survive, you know, because it's all about perception and and controlling expectations, right? You have to control expectations, learn to manage projects. So these are all skills that we could use to further our businesses. I listen. The main reason why I made this video right here is because I was listening to brother Tupac Shakur, and peace to brother Tupac. Man, he that dude was the embodiment of the black struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like raw. I mean, the brother was so deep. He was so raw, and he was a community activist at the same time. And he died at 25. He did all these things before he's even 26 years old. And he was talking to well, if y'all from California, see, I'm from Cali, so I'm from Southern Cali. You know what I'm saying? LA, about 20 miles south of LA. And there's this brother. He was from A-Trade Gang. I don't even want to talk about this, but it's real. He was from A-Trade Gangsta Crip in LA, which is like, these dudes is like, I think they're like 5,000 deep in LA. This gang is 5,000 deep. So I forgot who. No, they don't got beef with the Hoover Crip. I mean, so many Crips and Bloods in LA and Mexican gangs. There's like over like 20,000 sets, man. It's too many to name. My grandparents, I used to visit my grandparents in Compton. They had the Anzac Crip. Them niggas was like 8 deep. There was like one street. Then you had the Mexican tortilla flats banging hard, shooting, banging hard. Everybody just banging. So when I hear this dude, Amu Numa, talking about he banging, I'm like, you ain't banging. According to California, you ain't banging. You know what I mean? You ain't flagging, you ain't banging, so I don't understand why you call it Banging Monday. I don't hear one set being claimed or assassinated. So that's what banging is. That's what banging is. So, you know, he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't even be using that word. He should be, and he's not an assassin because he can't play politics. So I'm always taking shots at that brother because he deserves to get taken shots at because he talks a little bit too much. You know, even within his own Sabian tribe, people feel like he's talking a little bit too much. The only thing I respect is the news on Dr. York and Sister Tabi Jet. That's what I respect. Otherwise than that, when he's just ranting and raving, I don't care about that. I just pause the video and cancel it and watch something of value. So I was watching Tupac. Now he was talking with this dude. Why I brought up the A-Trade Gangsta Crip is because this dude named Monster Cody was one of the coldest gangsters in LA, I think in the 90s. He got a book called Monster Cody. And the first time I heard about it, my boy Aaron at Rancho Cucamonga, I was over his house chilling. And he had this book, you know, because he had graduated from UC Santa Barbara. So, oh yeah, what's that book, man? Monster Cody. He's like, man, this dude Monster Cody was crazy. You know, he was riding on the low, talk about riding on the low rider bike with a trench coat with a 12 gauge shotgun under his trench coat. He just looking for enemies. This what they call a set tripping. Catch somebody slipping up they set and just let them have it and start ambushing, like military type stuff in LA. You know, dudes will come from the military and just start, when they start, catching people slipping, set tripping, they'll use military tactics. Like, damn, the police like, damn, where you learn that from? Oh, I went to Iraq. They go to Iraq, spray paint Crip on the wall in Iraq. Blood and Crippin' in Iraq. Come on, man. This stuff is crazy in LA. That's why it's spread across the world. You got Bloods and Crips in Germany. Germany? What? That's crazy. In France, there's Bloods and Crips. That stuff started 25 miles from where I live at. Raymond, Washington. Everybody should know Tookie. Yeah. So anyway, he was talking on the phone with Tupac, right? And Tupac was a Panther at heart, man. The brother just thought like a Black Panther, but he got mixed up with that street stuff, you know what I'm saying? So he was telling Monster Cody, look, I got this plan. What we gonna get? Because Pac, he from the East Coast too. He grew up in the West, but he was born in Baltimore. So it kind of sounded like okay. So we had this plan to, he said, oh, we're gonna get these rappers together, and we're gonna get these sports teams together, like basketball, baseball, softball for boys and girls in the hood, and we're gonna have rappers sponsor these teams and either be a coach or find coach for these teams, right? And we're gonna get these communities together. Now he talked about doing this across the United States, not just in one city, not just in LA or Oakland. You know, he talked about doing it in New York, Baltimore, everywhere where there was the hood, right? Where unfortunately a lot of our people haven't learned to get out of. Getting the communities together, you know, having barbecues, fiestas, and just getting together as a community. Then he says we get people to register to vote. He's all Democrat, Republican, Independent, it don't matter. And then he said we get that voting block and we go to these mayors and say, hey, we got these voters, we got this block of thousands of votes for you to help you win your election or your re-election, correct? So we're going to help you with your campaign election, but you got to do this, this, and that. He's all, see, then we got power, right? We got power then. And then Monster Cody said, true, but we don't have the unity. He's all, yeah, see, that's why we doing this. That's why the rappers got to put up the money, you know? And I this is me, Mudhuta. I would add in that black celebrities put in their money too, or Moorish celebrities put in their money too. So I said, man, that's a great idea. And he said, then we go to these drug dealing spots, right? He's imagine me, Tretch, Ice Cube, whoever, big rappers, Chuck D or something. We get out the ride, we go talk to these drug dealers. We say, hey man, you know, who's running this spot? Bam. The dude will take us to who's running the spot. And then we talk to the big time drug dealer who's probably distributing. We said, hey man, you know, from like 2 to 8 o'clock, man, could you halt the drug dealing and let the kids just play? You know what I mean? Let the kids just play, man. Let them play. And then at 8 o'clock, 8:30, you know, the kids go inside, you continue your drug dealing activities. And I was thinking about it, I said, yeah, man, that's a good idea. Except that idea is a good energy behind that idea, but I don't think it would work. I think the Master Teacher's plan is better to form your own nation and form your own community, to buy your own land, because the things that Tupac did not know is Tupac is from here. He ain't from Africa. You're not a slave from... See, that'll mess you up. I'm just a slave from... That'll mess you up. That's why the Caucasoid does it, or the racist one. That's why they do it, because they know it would be mentally unhealthy for you to think about your own identity like that. And that's why you see dudes like Amun Numa and all these Sabians, they don't know who they are now. Oh, we're Negroids again. Well, Negroid is a Caucasoid term, right? We didn't call ourselves Negroids. Even people in Africa before colonialism did not call themselves Negroids. What did you call yourself before that? One of the words was Moor, right? Now over here, when you find the indigenous Moor of Turtle Island, we may have not called ourselves Moors. We may have not have. It could have been. I hear Dane Calloway saying Niji. I don't think it's Niji either. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't know the languages well enough. He doesn't know indigenous. I mean, he says Osio. I mean, you know one word, and I guess in the Aniuwea language, which I need to learn too, because I'm Aniuwea, but I'm doing Nuwabic, then I'm gonna learn my tribal language. So, and you know, another thing too is, you know, stop using their labels. In the United Nuwabian Nation of Moors, I think it's Statute 2 or 3. It says you're not to use. That's a foreign title. A Negro, and they try to Nagaru. It still got NGR, like nigger, Negroid. It's still nigger. You know what I'm saying? It's still nigger, man. The Nagaru, as long as you got that NGR in there, it's still nigger. So unfortunately, Sabians are still in the spell. They're in it. I mean, they're living it out. That's why they can't get along. They treat each other like Nagaru, like niggas. And okay. Well, I got to get out of here. I wanted to make this longer. Maybe I'll make a part 2 later. But yeah, you keep treating each other like niggas. Get rid of Nagaru. Go with Moore. Moore got a lot more respect on it than nigger. I'll tell you that right now. So just by contrast, use logic. Use logic, man. Use logic. Are you a Negroid, something that they say you are? Or are you a Moor, which goes back to ancient Tamaray? The word itself goes back to ancient Tamaray. That's why you have Murakesh, Mauritania. When the Greeks came in, they took that knowledge and they moved west. And when the Muslims came in, and the Muslims that came in looked at themselves differently than North Africans. I know y'all don't want to get into that, but that's a topic. That's another issue for another day. Dr. Wesley Muhammad wrote a book about it called The Black Arabian Prophet. He's talking about the Prophet Muhammad was a dark-skinned man, right? And there's a book by an Arabian brother in the 8th century called The Glory of the Black Race. Dr. York's already talked about this, right? The true Prophet Muhammad was a dark-skinned Moor, right? He already talked about who the fake Muhammad was, right? So if you studied, you would know this. But you niggas keep scrambling up your own brain like you don't know who you are. I think the Egyptian high priest, or the Tamarian high priest, said, know thyself. You don't know who you are. You keep changing your identity every two. Did the Egyptians do that? I mean, the Tamarian, I need to stop using the word Egypt. The Tamarians, is there any record that they would change their name of their culture? Not religion. Dr. York took us to the schools of religion. Religion's not your culture. It's not your culture. It's not your bloodline. So that all goes back to nationality, tribe, and culture. Did they change their culture every 5 years? No, they did not. No. And so if the master teacher's doing that, then he's wrong. Because our people, we didn't do that. We didn't change our culture every 2 years. Oh, I'm a Sabian now. Or in 5 years, 5 years, it's going to be something else. You have to decide who you are. That's your decision. The master teacher cannot make that for you. And if he does, like the United Nuwaubian Nation was, I'm a Nuwaubian. For me, that was it. I don't need Sabianism. I don't need Wu Sabat. I need Nuwabu. That, for me, that was it. Because now you're talking about nationality. You're talking about communities now, not religious communities. You're talking about just straight up communities, right? And so you can't really change that. And if you do, then now you're scrambling your mind like, oh, Nuwaubian Sabians. Like me, I never, if I'm addressing Sabians, I say Sabians. I make a distinction between a Nuwaubian and Sabian because it's real, right? And I don't just follow after somebody. I'm a man and I think about it. And I have to think about my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father, my mother, and my mother's. I have to think about where we're from. That's how I make my decision. I don't just follow Dr. York and say, oh, Dr. York don't know exactly who your father is or your grandfather, but you do. And he knows his. How come you don't know yours? Because you're a nigga, you're a slave, and you just follow. I guess that's what, I'm not even going to say what Sabians do. Because then now you're not a Sabian, you went back to being a Negroid, which means you're lost and you're bad. Because black in the English language is bad. It's something bad. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was trying to tell you. You're under the spell. If you're calling yourself black, you're under the spell. And black means you don't know who the hell you are, because there's no nation called black. All right, man. It was good talking to you. I got to get out of here. Peace to the Natior, peace to the Anunnaki. This is Brother Mudhuta signing off on Right Knowledge Radio. Wadu.